In this video, we're going to be talking about drive grants, grants for drivers, independent contractors, truck drivers, and also students. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde, and welcome to the #1 community for real estate, income, and credit. So if you'd like to know what these drive grants are, grants for independent contractors, for drivers, for truck drivers, for students, make sure you watch the video to the end. Leave a comment below if you need help with anything. So with rising fuel costs and many changes in the transportation industry, it's good to know that there are grants for drivers, grants for independent contractors, for students, and for CDL licensed trainees. And one of the best places to be able to find these grants is in your local Office of Skills and Development. Oftentimes, they're the division of your Department of Commerce and also your workforce development offices. These are where you're actually going to be able to find and source these grants. So a great example of a drive grant will be the Grubhub for Drivers grant, which is a $10,000 grant for drivers. So earlier this year, Grubhub announced and opened up their Grubhub for Drivers grant, which was a $10,000 grant that will be awarded for those who are currently driving Grubhub. Now they're actually going to be awarding and giving the grant next month in April, but the application process for this grant is currently closed. But I actually wanted to mention to you that these grants are actually available around the country in various pockets that you can actually apply for if you actually fit the criteria. So for this particular grant, they actually wanted you to be actively working on Grubhub for at least 90 days, having completed 50 orders and 20 deliveries. They also wanted you to submit a 5-minute video explaining your impact on the community and actually what you would actually do with the funds. They also wanted to find out if you were going to be allocating the funds towards a business or an organization or a school, because they want to make sure that they could help you with training. So again, a lot of times you're going to find these drive grants are going to come in the form of money that will go towards training that you're going to be looking to try to do and complete to help your philanthropic goals, your business goals, and also your education goals. And in the case of this drive grant, the recipient will be receiving a $10,000 grant next month in April when the grant is awarded. So you actually want to stay close to sources like this and keep abreast and get on their mailing list and follow up with them. So when they're actually announcing their next drive grant, you can actually be in position to be able to apply for the grant at that time. Another good example of a drive grant would be the Arkansas Workforce Development Grant, which is an $8 million grant that actually provides in-demand skill training for those who are actually looking to get their CDL license and trained to be able to be a truck driver. There are grants like this, similar to this, all around the country in different pockets. Some are smaller, some are maybe the same size or even larger, but these are drive grants. And as I shared earlier, they actually will allocate the money to directly to the institute or the school that you're actually going to be training in or taking the education from or the skills or the training from, or in some cases they're actually going to give you the money. So you actually want to get in the habit of applying for these grants, and as we've actually shared more here with you about drive grants, you can actually start to apply to these sources, get on their mailing list, and follow up with them. We're actually going to also include all the drive grants that we actually have allocated and found around the country in our resource area. So if you'd like to know more about drive grants and transportation grants, you can actually go to my website at AskRinde.com, click on grants, and get started today. And inside our resource area, you can actually see what we've actually found so far and what we've allocated for drive grants in our resource area. This is actually a good opportunity to actually lessen the burden of having to come up with the money to be able to either go for training or to operate your business. Because if you're actually driving for Grubhub or one of these other services, it is a business. There's expenses that go along with that, and getting a grant can really go a long way. As we're seeing with the fuel surge, it's causing a lot of people who are actually in these services to actually take a dip in what they're earning because they're taking home less because they're spending more just to be able to facilitate and run their business. So actually going for grants in this specific sector is really, really key. And as we actually see things align, as time moves on, we're going to see a lot more changes happening in the world economy and in the world in general, as we're seeing, from fuel shortages to supply chain disruptions, to disruptions completely, resets happening, war, pestilence, different things that are happening. So we want to make sure that we can get in the habit as a business owner to constantly apply for grants. You want to make sure that you can actually position your company and your business even as a single member LLC or a sole proprietor to position yourself to pursue this, because this is money that you do not have to pay back. Why not take advantage of it and go after some of the $900 billion that's disseminated on an annual basis here in the U.S. So we look forward to sharing as much as we can with you, and we look forward to being a resource to you. So make sure you actually contact us by going to my website at AskRinde.com, clicking on grants and getting started today. Join us in our resource area. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me. My email address is askrindenetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.